Welcome back to Breaking Bricks, my friends. I'm your host, Neil. This week we are working on an iconic location in Star Wars. You know, for a long time, my shelves have been missing a very important set. An awesome set that kind of displays Tatooine in a really great way. The minifigures sit in it kind of pretty awesomely, but yet the set is a little small. Now, I ate the set to build Vader's castle a couple years back, and it has been missing ever since. It is time for it to return to my shelves. So today, we are working on Jabba's Palace. Let's get started right now. Alright, this set came out in 2012 and stayed on the shelf for about a year and a half. It originally retailed for $120 brand new. Now with today's economy, you're probably looking at a $160 to $180 set, but I think it's going to range around more like $180 simply because of all the minifigs in this. They came with 9 minifigures, 6 were original to this set, and had 717 pieces. So now if you were to try to find this set new, you're going to pay upwards of $320 for this set. Even $400 if you're looking on eBay, but you can find it used for about $250, give or take a few bucks that way. Now, I really enjoyed this set. I just love how it looks, and I've been wanting to chase down some of these sets that I've eaten over the years to build these big monster things. So now, the return of Jabba's Palace is the beginning of that. I was planning on bringing back the Ewok Village as well, but I think I'm going to hold off on that because it's going to eat into my brown supply pretty bad. I didn't realize that most of my brown supply came from that. Overall, this was a pretty easy and simple set to put together. Nothing too complicated. Everything was pretty standard. The working mechanisms, the sliding functions. The mixture of the dark tans, a tiny bit of brown, and the light tans really kind of set it off. And having Jabba and all his monsters just sitting on a shelf someplace with no place to put them, they get dusty. At least inside the hut, they'll be a little less dusty. All right, my friends, there it is. We got it together. You know, it's actually been in bins for probably a couple years now. I did miss having this set sitting out simply because when you add a few extra figures, it really kind of sets it off. So let's go ahead and take an up-close look at what we got here. All right, so what we got here is Jabba's Palace. I mean, overall, you know, the design of this is typical of putting 2 sections together in a Lego set that makes one. Overall, you can't cram too much into this set because it's very small. To really pull this set off, you would have to make it much larger. But the good thing about this set is it kind of gives you some building techniques on how to do so. And then, let's march over to this side just because it's easier. So the roof comes off pretty easy, and there you go. You got your display. I threw a few extra figures in here like Lando in disguise, Boba Fett, and of course another one of his little worker slaves there. We got an extra Ugnaught. And it does come with a couple play features, a hidden door, and the mechanism that slides Jabba back and forth. So the hidden door that opens up is right there. You know, if you bought the Rancor pit that went with this set, you could attach this set to that set, but then it sticks up off your shelf by about 9 inches, and it just doesn't look good that way. You know, this way, I would like to have the Rancor pit, but I've already got the Rancor, so I don't need the pit to go along with it. And this is pretty much a shelf display. I just like how it sets and displays these figures. So that's what's going to happen. I've missed this set. I've missed it being on the shelf. Jabba just didn't look right not being in his palace. So what can I say? Well, my friends, all I got to do now is find it a new home on a shelf. And that shouldn't take too long, thank God. I've got plenty of space in here to work with, so I'm happy about that. But if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. Lets me know I'm doing a good job and suggests this kind of content to anybody might be out there that might like it. And of course, if you got a good idea for a build, content, questions, go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half second, but for me it means an awful lot. And I'll see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.